Let's talk about the number of sets, the number of repetitions, and injuries. We have to make sure that these are right front and center. We're really thinking about this when we are doing resistance training. So the goal of resistance training, especially this 3-week kickstart, is really meant to be what we would call a preparatory phase in the strength and conditioning world. It's just to prepare your muscles, your tendons, your nervous system for more challenging things that you can do down the way. One of the biggest problems when people start an exercise program or restart one if they've been kind of off the horse for a while is that they do too much. They exceed their capacity. Their tendons maybe not be used to moving in a certain way or with a certain amount of resistance. And it takes a while for your nervous system to learn how to coordinate your movements well so you are safe in doing them and so your nervous system can recruit the right muscles to do things in the right way. It takes time. So the number of sets and reps that are built into this program that are on the PDF, so please review that, is really meant to be a little bit lighter resistance, not no resistance, but a little bit lighter resistance, focusing on form. Your form has to be perfect all the time or else you're at a risk for injury. And that's not the name of the game. So with success with this, and you should have seen this in some of the things I wrote about this program already, but it is a 3-week program, but you can cycle through this 3-week program 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And every time you go through it, you can make it a little bit harder. You can make the resistance a little bit harder to do. That is perfect. You don't need to overcomplicate it trying to find 20 new exercises. All the exercises that I built into this program are fundamental. They are essential for anybody who wants to be healthy and fit. And I can promise you that Olympic athletes are doing many of the exact same exercises that you are, maybe with more resistance, of course, but they are fundamental. They are key to moving well, feeling strong, feeling vibrant, and being able to tolerate the Olympic sport of vet medicine. So pay attention to the sets, pay attention to the reps. You can always do less. So if I'm a science kind of guy. I love all the numbers. I love the data. But there's something about intuition where if you start moving in a certain way and it just doesn't feel right, it may not hurt, it just doesn't feel right, you're not too comfortable with it, skip it. It is absolutely not worth getting injured, even if it doesn't hurt ahead of time. But if doesn't feel good in your gut, just skip it. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. If you want some more precise coaching and more kind of tips, go to the Vetspan Collective community page. Let's talk about it. What works, what doesn't work. If you want tips, I'm happy to chime in. And of course, we have a whole community of people here that are all in this together. We're all trying to get better. We're all trying to be stronger, more vibrant and healthy. So pace yourself. And again, you can kind of go through this program a couple of times, maybe make it more challenging as time goes on. But let's talk injuries. If you are, unless you're a teenager, you've probably already had a variety of injuries. I've had a laundry list of injuries and surgeries and broken whatnots and everything along the way. So I have to modify some exercises for me. It's probably the same for you. If you feel a twinge, don't do it. If you feel a twinge when you start doing an exercise, skip it, put it on the back burner, leave it alone for a while, maybe come back, weeks down the road. But you may have to modify things, especially if it's, an exercise where you're lifting weights with the left and right hand. If you have an old injury on one side, you may have to adjust the resistance. So be mindful of injuries. The biggest barrier for the clients that I coach, the biggest barrier is injuries when it comes to longevity. Because once you're injured, and some people kind of push themselves a little bit too hard, they'll get a little overzealous doing things. And when they push themselves so hard, take some risks, they get injured, we have to shut everything down. And then you just lose all that effort that you've kind of been focusing so hard on doing. So avoid injury as much as possible. The sad thing is, and the sad reality is that if you exercise on a regular basis, the net gain is massive, but your chance of getting injured along the way and having little twinges, it's there. It's going to happen. Sooner or later, we don't know what our limits are sometimes until we step over them. So we need to be a little mindful of them. But when in doubt, go through this first 3 weeks, a little bit less resistance than you think you could do. Leave some repetitions in the tank so you're not you're not sacrificing your form on them, and save it for the next round. So when in doubt, don't do it. Maybe after a week or two of doing it, you can make things a little bit more challenging, but safety above all else.